All right, we will get started. We've got head coach Greg McDermott as well as senior guard Mitch Ballock with us. After opening statement from Coach, we'll take questions for either gentleman. We'll go about 20 minutes till 10:50 Central so that Mitch can get to class. But Coach, go ahead with an opening statement.
Thanks, Rob. Obviously we're excited to be back in the tournament. After being able to watch 4 or 5 of Santa Barbara's games over the course of the last 18 hours or so. Very talented team, very experienced team that are, that's really good on both ends of the floor. I think they've won 18 out of 19 or 19 out of 20, something like that. So obviously playing at a high level right now, won their league outright title and won the conference tournament. We'll have our hands full, but we're excited for a week of preparation. And I know the guys are thrilled to take the court on Saturday afternoon.
All right. If you got a question, use the raised hand feature. We'll start with Matt DeMarinis.
Morning, Mitchell.
Good morning.
You guys have experienced a lot over your careers, but it's funny because you get to this point and I realize that you're the only guy who knows what this feels like in some regard. Obviously this year will be different, but how are you preparing for that? Because this isn't really something that you guys can lean on past experiences to get yourselves ready for.
Yeah, I think we just approach it like every other game. It's just that mentality now. It's obviously win or go home. So you have to bring a different level of focus from the regular season. I played in the tournament my freshman year. Obviously, we came up short. Not the best showing for us, a little. But, you learn from it. You work and you keep doing what you're doing. But at the end of the day, it's just another basketball game. It's just another basketball game on a different stage in a different arena. So the game's still the same. The preparation is all the same. Just turn up the focus a little bit and we'll focus on the preparation and really just try to execute the plan the coach has put in place for us like we have for the last 3.5 years. So,
John Niatala?
Mitch, yeah, I definitely appreciate that perspective to treat it as normal as possible, but it's not normal, right? Like, at least from the outside looking in, we see the NCAA tournament, it's like, whoa, big stage, this is it, do or die. As a player, do you anticipate the feel of it, the pressure of the moment to feel different?
You don't really. I'm sure there's going to be some different emotions before the ball goes in the air for sure. Obviously, like you said, it's March Madness. Everybody dreams of playing in March Madness. That's what you work for all year. And then when the opportunity presents itself, you just kind of have to seize the moment. And I think we'll do that. Obviously, the early butterflies start early, but it's different this year. Limited fans, all in one venue. It's different for everybody. So it just comes down to who can find some normalcy in that and who can get rolling and clicking together and play together and see what happens. But at the end of the day, I think the emotions will go out the window once the ball goes up in the air, and then everything else just plays itself. And then you play the way we play all year, and then you live with the results. But we go out swinging the way that we play.
John Bishop?
Mitch, good morning. There was a moment in the second half when obviously things weren't going well where you huddled the team up after a timeout. What do you say to the guys in a moment like that, in a game like that, to keep them locked in and to, keep their heads up?
Yeah, I just told them, obviously you have those games once in a blue moon. Mac addressed it in the locker room. We haven't had a game like that since San Diego State last year, and we responded well after that. But what I told the guys was just, hey, stay together, don't deviate from the plan. Obviously, this isn't our night. Shots weren't going. They were making shots, and they executed their game plan really well. So credit to Georgetown. But just bring the guys together and build that momentum in the last few minutes that we were going to play together. Obviously, we didn't have it going the first 34 minutes, but the next 6 we just tried to figure out and play the way that we play and hopefully get some momentum rolling into the tournament because at the end of the day, that's where we're going to pick up. That's where we're going to pick up where we left off, and we just have to come together and stay together because we win and lose as a team, and that's just what we're going to do. So just find some joy in it. Obviously, when you're down 25, 30 points, it's tough to smell the roses and really look at the bright side. But at the end of the day, you got to find some positivity going forward and really get the guys' minds in the right spot. So that's kind of what it was, and then just joke about it and laugh it off.
We'll go to Rex.
Hey, Mac, with this year being so different with everyone having to kind of quarantine and have consecutive days of negative tests, can you just kind of take us through what that whole process and protocol is for you guys, and as a coach, how you handle all of that?
Yeah, we landed about 11 last night, local time, and by the time we got on the bus and got over we had to go to a different hotel to get our COVID test last night. But by midnight, we were moving again and on our way to our hotel. We have another round of testing here in a couple hours, and if we clear that and get the 32 or 4 negative tests, whatever we have in our group, then we'll kind of be allowed to roam within the bubble, so the guys can at least move about the hotel and things like that. But if we get those negative tests, we'll at least be able to get on the practice court a little bit tonight. I don't think we'll do much, but allow the guys to shoot a little bit. But after that, it's kind of business as usual. We have our own meeting room. We're on our own floor, much like we were in New York City. And I thought the Big East Conference did a great job with the setup in New York. It was very efficiently run in terms of the testing and the protocols, and knock on wood, we haven't had any Big East teams have any issues up to this point. So once we get, I think, through today, I think we can maybe turn it into kind of business as usual, where we'll be able to get together as a team, and our guys can walk to each other's rooms and hang out a little bit. But we've got to get through today first.
John Title.
Thanks. 2 questions for Mitch. Mitch, congrats on getting back in the tournament. I believe you were there as a freshman in 2018. So and you had a great game. I believe you were the team's leading scorer. So what are your memories of the 2018 tournament? And secondly, do you prepare any differently or have any different expectations when you're playing a high major team like Kansas State versus a mid-major team like UCSB?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. Obviously being back in the tournament, I was what you played for all year. So that's cool. In terms of preparation, no, it's all the same. I mean, in March, anything can happen. You see my freshman year, actually, the UMBC beat Virginia on the same court right after our game. So when you see things like that, they had it going. UMBC was playing the game the right way. They were playing fast. The pace was theirs, and they established it. So, in this stage of the season, everybody's good. Everybody's a high-level basketball team playing at a high level, and you just have to approach every game like you're playing the number 1 seed, or you're playing the number 16 seed, or you're playing whoever, because you're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's going to go out swinging, and it's kind of it's win or go home. So it's a desperation deal. So you have to treat every opponent like they're the number 1 seed, and you prepare for that, and your focus level has to be that, and then you have to execute at a high level to win in March. So that's what we're planning on doing, and hopefully we can get to that.
Matt DeMarinis.
Yeah, Mac, you mentioned you haven't been able to watch some film now of UCSB. What are your early impressions of Corey Mclaughlin?
He's terrific. Obviously he's a high level scorer, but his assist to turnover ratio now, I think after the tournament, I don't have it in front of me, but going into the tournament, I think he was 120 assists and 40 some turnovers. So, he also really makes plays for his teammates, plays with really good pace, doesn't get sped up, and doesn't take a lot of bad shots. So he's really, really efficient. But a very good player. Was player of the year in the league, obviously, and deservedly so. From what I've seen so far, he's a talented young man.
John Neotala.
Mitch, you're in quarantine right now. So what's the maybe I should ask it like this: how would you advise someone to get through the bubble life? How have you sort of tried to a lot of time by yourself, right? Like, how do you pass the time? How have you gotten through this the last couple of weeks and going forward?
Yeah, in New York it was good because our hotel was really nice. Like Max said, the Big East did a really good job. It was really easy, smooth flowing. So it was kind of good. And then I haven't played. I mean, I brought the Xbox along with me. I haven't been a big Xbox guy in the first 3.5 years of my college career, but I got into it. I've been playing with those guys. It's really fun. It's a way just to kind of hang out through the mic and kind of that teamwork aspect. We're all in duos or trios or quads, just trying to win a game, and it's fun. It's a good time just because, I mean, we don't play that much. We don't normally play that much. We're not very good. So when we finish in top 5, top 2, it's really exciting. So that's cool. So that takes your mind and time away from some things. And then, I mean, I waited to shave my beard till this morning just because I knew I had time. So I needed to trim that down. But honestly, outside of that, just, I mean, foam roll and I mean, you can text your buddies and play video games and talk to your family and talk to people that you haven't talked to in a while. So it's good. You can just make do with what you have. I mean, honestly, everybody's in the same situation, but if you can find some bright spots and some positivity in it, then, I mean, the better off you are. And it's been fun so far.
Did you say you shave your beard or you're about to shave your beard?
I trimmed it. I can't go from 35 to 19. I gotta stay even keel.
Matt DeMarinis?
Yeah, my question is actually for Mac, but Mitch, you're a perfectionist. How are you handling these L's you're probably getting in video games after a 3.5-year hiatus? Like, there's no way.
Yeah. It's definitely frustrating just because I'm like I'm not very good. I know I'm not very good, but I'm kind of getting better the more you play. Obviously, that's how it works. But I don't know, man. It's just fun. I just got to take it as fun because if I get too serious, I just get so mad. And then you just, I mean, rage quitting and turn the TV off and all that. And then when you have a bad game, Marcus and Jake are making fun of me. So it's like, it's fun. It's all good fun. So it's a good time. It's good camaraderie.
Nice. Mac, just on Denzel real quick, is he fighting something physically, or is there just a confidence deal right now with the kind of shooting slump he's found himself in here lately?
I don't think he's fighting anything. I think his approach has been really good, and obviously defensively, he had a terrific Big East tournament. He didn't make shots, and I think for the most part he took the right shots. Had some go in and out, and you could see the frustration kind of mount as he had some bounce around and pop out. But he wasn't the only one that didn't shoot it great against Georgetown. So hopefully, with a week of practice, first of all, we were off yesterday and we're not going to do much today. And tomorrow actually might be more of a workout day than a practice day with the Saturday game. So hopefully he can get some mojo back, just being in the gym, getting shots up and getting his timing back. But we're going to need a great performance out of him defensively on Saturday. That's where it starts. And, I'm confident that after a week, he'll get that shooting stroke back.
Got about 5 more minutes. We'll go to Rex.
Hey, Mitch, with your first game being at Lucas Oil Stadium, as a shooter, when you're playing in a big space like that, is that something you need to adjust to, or it can kind of mess you up where you kind of overshoot a little bit at the beginning, shoot a little bit long, or is it something that, a hoop's a hoop and it's no different?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. And my first reaction would be a hoop's a hoop. It's not very different. When I was coming from little gyms in Kansas to CenturyLink and NBA arenas in the Big East, I mean, it wasn't really that much of an adjustment. It was just hoops at the end of the day. But we have preparation days where we get on the court and just kind of get a feel for it and get your stroke going, like Coach said, and just kind of get a feel for the gym and the space. So I don't think it'll play too much of a role. At the end of the day, just it's all the same distance from the rim. It's all the same height and everything. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to keep that same approach and approach it like any other thing and just let it fly like we do.
There aren't any 70,000 seat arenas in Eudora?
No, we don't have any of those. Hey, there's not any in Northeast Iowa either.
Yeah, you got a good point there.
All right, John Niatawa.
I probably know the answer to this, Greg, but is it unsettling to play your worst game of the season right before the start of the tournament? Like, how do you process that piece of it? Just the timing of that moment to have it happen and then well, now you're about to play your most important game of the year in a week.
I'm over it. And, like I told the guys, if they wanted to hang their head for an hour or so after the game, go ahead and do it. But by the time you put that head in the pillow, it's over. You can't, you have to have the maturity not to, you can't, when you have a great win over a UConn team the night before, you can't let that go to your head either. You've got to get ready for the next one. And we had one where we weren't ourselves. And as Mitch said earlier, that hasn't happened to this team at all this year. It's really only happened to this core group twice in 2 years. And as you look across the country, there aren't many teams that can say that. So, it happened on the wrong night for us. And sometimes you can't control that. But that thing is long gone in the rearview mirror.
Hey, and in hindsight, it's better to happen now than next week. So we'll be all
right. Matt?
Yeah, just, we ask the players this every year, but I was wondering, Matt, do you ever get nervous this time of year? Like, especially with this group, it's such an experienced group. It's been together for so long. You probably are dreading the fact that it's coming to an end eventually here. Do you think about that at all, or do you just focus on
the
controllables?
I try not to. Obviously, it's going to be difficult when this runs over with that group of seniors, because they've done a lot for this program, and to think the last 2 years we were going to be a 2 or 3 seed last year, and we're top 5 seed again this year. So what they've accomplished and the way they've gone about it has been pretty incredible. So that certainly is going to be a bitter time when that all ends, but it's also going to be a time to rejoice and look back at what they accomplished and the fingerprints that they've left on our program. But I guess my feelings now is I'm really excited for them. Mitch is the only one that's played in an NCAA tournament. He was a freshman at the time. So, just for the guys to be able to experience this, even though it's different. I've been doing it 32 years, and I know how hard it is to get here. I think as young people, maybe you don't understand that there's far more teams left out of this tournament than are in it. So you have to embrace that and make sure you enjoy it. And I hope they can feel that, even though it's not a normal NCAA tournament feel. Having said all that, you got all 68 teams in the same city, so I think there is going to be. There was motorcycle cops and police cars everywhere last night with police escorts, with buses, and now you have 3 team buses per team. So you got buses and police cars and police motorcycles all over the place. So, it's going to be a neat feel for them. And then, you want to enjoy it leading up to it. And then, as Mitch said, once the ball goes up, it's another basketball game, and you're competing against a team who's really, really good, because, if you haven't had a great year, you're not still playing. So, I'm excited for them. I'm anxious to get on the court. But this has been a really special group, and hopefully we can stay around Indy for a few weeks.
And then our final question will go to John Niatala.
I got a 2 for 1, so hopefully you'll allow me to do that, Rob. Just a quick one on Reef, Greg. How is he doing, and what's his status going into?
He was better. He was better yesterday than he was on Saturday, and obviously that hurt us not having him, because he was really playing at a high level. But we'll evaluate him throughout the week. Anytime you take a shot to the head, you have to be really, really careful. And obviously his health is our number one priority.
And then, Greg, you said right off the jump, you watched UCSB, 4 or 5 times, or 4 or 5 of their games already. What's it like as a coach? Like, how did you guys divvy up sort of the responsibility to get yourself ready for an opponent? You've been through this before, I know, but what's it like trying to do a crash course on a team you haven't seen probably at all, in a while?
Casey Matthews, our video guy, did a really good job of, we had an idea of where we were going to be seated, probably within a couple spots, one way or the other. So you just, you look at the other side of the bracket and try to figure out the 6 or 8 teams that are most likely to be there. So he made sure he had, 4 or 5 games of each team downloaded, so that when the announcement was made, he could get everything on our computer. So when we jumped on the bus and then on the airplane, we could get some work done. But it's kind of fun, because this time of year, conference play, you know, you know everybody's stuff inside out. You know their personnel. So now you're just trying to figure out how do we adjust from last time we played them? What might they do differently? And now you play somebody brand new where you really have to dig in to the weeds, so to speak, of, all right, guys, individual tendencies that you don't know because you don't play them. So you pay closer attention to that. And then just trying to get a handle for, you know, what do they stand for offensively? Like what do they want? And then defensively, what are they trying to take away? How are they going to defend certain actions? To try to put our guys in the best possible place by Saturday. So it's actually kind of refreshing and fun to dig into a new team. But you know, we'll be able to get our work done by Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, on Santa Barbara, and then some of my staff will, you know, turn their attention to a potential second round opponent, where I'll kind of stay in my lane here and just kind of work on Santa Barbara till we get through that one.
All right, that'll do it for this session. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Mitch. If the media wants to stick around, I'll answer any questions they might have about whatever else is going on in Indy.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
You.
Mitch, Greg, thank you.